What's going on YouTube? Kamikaze Von Doom here with another Outriders build video. Now in this build video it's going to be a Devastator Seismic Shifter build. It's kind of a hybrid, but it's mainly all spec'd into Anomaly and Firepower. So I've got a lot of Firepower, a lot of Anomaly power, and I also have Tank, a whole bunch of armor. So, I mean, pretty much this is a well-balanced build. But first, don't take my word for it. I'll go ahead and show you a few minutes of me doing tier 13 and 14 on the expeditions. And yeah, we'll go from there. Currently, with this build, I have gotten up to tier 14. So I'm almost at 15. But yeah, let's go ahead and show you the gameplay, and then I will give you guys the build breakdown. See you in just a second.
There's a passage leading below the meteorite. Yup. Reeks of monsters. Smell them start to There's a passage leading below the meteorite. Yup. Reeks of monsters. Smell them start to
Alright, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of gameplay, and let's get into the build breakdown. So I did say it is a seismic shifter build with some DPS. So to better explain that, let's go ahead and go to the skill tree. So here you are. You can see that I am fully spec'd into the seismic shifter skill tree, but then I am also a little bit into the Vanquisher or the DPS part of the skill tree. So just to explain this really quick, I spec'd into increase anomaly power, increase skill leech, seismic skill cooldown by 15%. You are using the earthquake, the impaler, and the trimmer. So seismic skills are grade A for this build. And then more anomaly power. I go into resistance piercing for my weapon here. I do not go into kinetic cooldown because I'm not using kinetic skills. And then anomaly power again, but then this time I go into anomaly bullets. So it increases my firepower by 15% of my anomaly power. And then I am skipping the bleed duration all the way across the board. So then more reduce seismic skill cooldown. And then I go into anomaly power. Do not spec into the class melee skill. We're not doing that. Or the bleed. We're not doing that either. This is all about getting your skills hitting as hard as you can and dealing as much damage as you can. So to finish up the tree, increase damage by 20% against enemies below 30% health. Increase anomaly power again. Skill leech, and this time we do protected by the anomaly, so it increases your armor bonus by 40% of your anomaly power. And then we go into skilled sentry, so this increases your armor by 20% and resistance by 20% for 10 seconds when your skills end. And then of course resistant piercing, skipping the bleed, don't spec into the bleed. And then finally, the increase seismic skill base damage. So I'm getting two different cooldown reductions, and then at the end, I'm actually getting that damage buff to my seismic skills. I am using all seismic skills for this build. And then what I did is I went up the DPS part of the skill tree, and I chose weapon damage, armor piercing, close range weapon damage, and then assault rifle weapon damage, because my primary weapon is a assault rifle. If you are not using the assault rifle, you could easily go right here to the armor breaker and just increase your armor piercing. But this is how I do the skill tree. You are more than likely to pause the video right here, just that way you can copy and paste. And yeah, let's get into the skills. So like I said, all three of my skills are seismic skills. First one being the earthquake, obviously. Next one is trimmer. Now trimmer really helps out for getting my health back. You could see that earthquake and trimmer, I would get my health back pretty much immediately. This is a very high survivability build. I can face tank two bosses at the exact same time. I can also go against huge hordes of enemies without really getting hurt. As long as I can hit my skills or at least get a crit shot, I'm good to go. There's really no dying. I do a lot of picking up people, so I'm getting my revives up pretty well. But as far as myself going down, it's very, very rare because of the way I've set up this build and the leeching abilities from it. And then also the impale. Impale is a lot of fun and it does a lot of damage. So you can see just right here, the earthquake is set at 124k damage, and the impale is just under 200k damage. Alright, now let's get into the build breakdown. So I'm going to start off with the weapons and then we will talk about the gear. But first, look at my numbers. I'm at 115k firepower. I'm at 94.6k anomaly power. 16.5k health. and 154k armor. The survivability in this build, like I said before, is amazing. You will not die. The only thing I wish I had more of is just more, damage. But don't we all? Alright, starting off with the weapons. This is my favorite weapon in the game. It is the Inferno Seed. This one is a level 48, and I've gotten it up to 72.2k firepower. It comes with crit damage, status power, and long range damage. I've maxed out all of those attributes. Now, as far as the weapon mods, it comes with the Wrath of Moloch, but what I did is I rolled Winter Blast on here as well. So every time I get a crit hit, I do an explosive damage, dealing 104k damage, inflicting burn on enemies within 5 meters. But I am also, with Winter Blast, I also create a Icy Blast that inflicts freeze on enemies within 4 meters of that target. So every time I do a crit hit with this weapon, it creates explosions, it burns the enemies, and freezes the enemies all at once. Yes, you can deal more than one status effect at the same time. This weapon, perfect. Now, what I like about this weapon is it's a 3-round burst. So with that, I do have the long range damage on this weapon, so I'm able to beam those enemies from long range. Now my secondary, I'm using the double gun, no real reason. It is a level 49, and I'm just trying to get some higher weapons. And then for the pistol, again, nothing special. This one's only a level 46. I'm primarily just using the assault rifle. If I really need to, I'll use the other weapons, but I'm mainly just using this Inferno Seed. Alright, so let's talk about the gear. Starting off with the helmet. This is the legendary helmet called the Cranium of a Lost Creature. Looks pretty sick. Now this one is level 48. So the armor of it is just above 8500, and it comes with anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and skills life leech. All 3 of those you need for this build, because you need anomaly power, you need the cooldown so you get them faster, and you need the life leech, that way you stay up longer. So you can see how it's just, helping my survivability, more and more. Now as far as the mods, I do have some off-the-wall mods for this build, but there is method to this madness. So starting off with this headgear, it has 2 different mods. One's a tier 3 and one's a tier 2. The tier 3, it's called Power Assimilation. Now it boosts your anomaly power by 8200 for each elite that is present on the battlefield. Now when you're doing expeditions, you're going to get multiple elites on the battlefield at once. So with that, my anomaly power skyrockets. It's amazing. My skills end up doing some insane damages, and it's just, smooth sailing. I love it. Now the next one is the tier 2 mod. This one is up for debate. You could change it up however you want. But this one, it's called Perseverance Munitions. So whenever my health drops below 30%, it increases my firepower by almost 27,000. And that's for 5 seconds. Now not only that, but you see where it says health drops below 30%. So let's see, I've got another one here. Here we go, right here. So I also have Emergency Stance. This is a tier 2 mod as well. And when I drop below 30% health for this one, I gain Golem protection for 4 seconds. So the coolest thing for this build is having the Emergency Stance mixed with the Perseverance Munitions. Every time I see the Golem activate, I know that I have a firepower buff going on as well. So I'm getting the protection from Golem, and then I'm also getting a firepower buff. So that helps me out even more. Now going to the chest piece. This one, level 47, nothing crazy, epic piece of gear. The armor just below 7500 with anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and close range damage. Now remember, I'm already getting the close range damage buff from the skill tree, and now I'm getting more of it from this piece of gear. Now, as far as the mods, I have one towards Earthquake, and then I also have Damage Absorber. Now, Damage Absorber is one of my favorite mods in the game. I'm running Devastator, so I need my survivability to be up. That way I can focus more on my skills and, my firepower. So what this does is it increases my armor and resistance, and that scales with every level you go up. So I'm still 3 levels short, so I'll be able to get this up even higher. And this is where it bumps up my armor to that 154k you see right there. So there's your chest piece. Now for the Earthquake mod, I chose this one, that way I could activate it twice without it going away for cooldown. So I can use my Earthquake twice, and my Impale will hit 2 enemies at once. Now going to the pants, or the lower armor. This one's actually a level 49. I got lucky. Now the armor is just under 9,300. For the attributes, it comes with bonus firepower, close range damage again, and healing received. So now, whenever I'm getting healing, I get even more of it with this healing received. Now for the mods, I'm using Earthquake mod that increases the damage, but then I'm also using Freezing Boost. You want this with that Winter Blast mod on your weapon. So, refresher, on my weapon I have Winter Blast. Every crit hit shot inflicts freeze on an enemy. Now, if I go down to my lower armor, I'm using Freezing Boost, which boosts my damage against enemies afflicted by freeze by 15%. So it doesn't matter what enemy I get on freeze, I'm automatically doing more damage. Now going to the gloves. The gloves are level 48, so I still need to work on that. The armor is just under 9,200. Now for the attributes, I'm getting firepower, healing received, and cooldown reduction. So I'm pretty sure I have cooldown reduction. So that's 3, 4. So four out of the 5 have cooldown reduction. And then I have close range. Alright. Now back to the gloves. So these gloves, firepower, healing received, and cooldown reduction. Now as far as the mods go, I have the Impale mod to give me more damage. But then I have Fresh Mag. This is a tier 2 weapon mod. Every time I reload my weapon, it increases my firepower by 13,000 for 8 seconds. And you're going to be reloading your weapon a lot. So you can see I'm having different mods here that give me a crap ton more damage, but then I also have mods that give me a lot more survivability. So you want to try to balance the two. That way you're not just out tanking everything and shooting marshmallows, but you're out tanking everything and shooting them, melting them. Alright, and finally the boots. These boots, level 48. Armor is just under 9,100. And these boots come with anomaly power, status power, and cooldown reduction. So the status power helps with my freeze and my burn. And then the cooldown reduction, obviously, for my skills. The anomaly power is nice. I do want to hit 100k anomaly power with the same numbers I have here. But we'll get there eventually. But back to the boots. Anomaly power, status power, and cooldown reduction. As far as the mods are concerned, I have that Impale mod, that way I can hit 2 enemies at once, which is perfect. And then I also have Emergency Stance. Now in my opinion, Emergency Stance needs to be with Damage Absorber. That way you get more armor, more resistance, and then for Emergency Stance you get that golem whenever your health drops. And then that'll tell you that you also have your firearms buff as well. Pretty good indicators, especially if you're in a crazy firefight. You know that as soon as the golem activates, you also have the firepower increase. So what I do is I wait for the golem to proc. I reload my weapon because I also get the buff to firearms from that. And then I have golem increase firearms from the from the Perseverance munitions. And then I also have the freeze boost, which helps buff my damage. And then I also have the reload fresh mag, where the reloading increases my damage as well. So you can see there's a lot of different mods here in work, but they all play off the same thing. I'm freezing enemies, I'm getting damage buff from enemies that are frozen. I lose some of my health, I get golem protection and firepower. I reload my weapon, I get more firepower. It's a great mashup, and I'm telling you, you will love this build setup. So, that is it. This is my Devastator Seismic Shifter. Firepower is at 115k. Anomaly power is at 94.6k. Health 16.5k. And armor 154k. Now this build has gotten me all the way through World Tier 14. Now I am not yet at 15, but I'm getting there. Just give me a few more runs and I'll be there. But what I keep having the problem is I'm upgrading my gear level by level because I do really like this gear setup. Now as soon as I get full legendary, outfits, that'll be a different question. But my problem is, just look at this. So if I go to level up, look at how much it costs. 24,000 drops and just under 900 titanium. So it's quite a bit just to get up to level 49. And then I still have to get up to level 50. And this is only for one item. I still need to upgrade all my other items. So it's going to be quite a grind, but we got this. Let me know in the comment section below how you are enjoying the expeditions. I'll go ahead and show you my times real quick currently. Here are my times. I have attempted every single zone except for Eye of the Storm. So we're getting there. A lot of these I'm trying to redo at higher tiers, but it's getting there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know Devastator, for a lot of people, it's more of a weaker class, but I would beg to differ. The amount of survivability you have with this build compared to, say, Pyromancer, Technomancer, Trickster, it's completely out of this league. I can out-tank nearly everything, and just using my skills, I get my health back immediately. So it just depends on what kind of team you have, team synergy, and how you can melt those bosses down as quickly as possible. But alright, Kamikaze Von Doom, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, hit that like, support the channel by subscribing. If you have any questions or comments at all, let me know in the comment section below. But with that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.